One of the questions I get all of the time is, how do I buy CBD? Is CBD snake oil? Will it work for me? Well, here's a couple tips that I would use when looking for a CBD product. Number one, and so important, is that you need to have test results. You need to have test results to make sure that there's CBD even in the product. Now, I know that sounds a little wonky, like obviously, if it's on the box, it's gonna be in the bottle, but that's not always true. CBD became legal in this country in December of 2018, and the government hasn't yet put its regulations out, which means it's basically a gold rush, or like as we say, a green rush, which means that there's a lot of people trying to get in it. Because there aren't any regulations yet, anything kind of goes. So the number one thing that you can do to make sure that you are buying products that work and that are safe is to make sure that they're tested. Now, you kind of need a PhD to understand these test results, so let me break it down for you on how I read them. Number one is that I want to understand potency. How many cannabinoids, milligrams usually, are in the product? That's what you're paying for. Number two, I want to make sure that they've tested for things like heavy metal and lead and pesticides and any of that bad toxic stuff. Now, let me do a quick aside. Hemp typically has been used as a bioaccumulator, or it is a bioaccumulator. A lot of farmers and people who manage the land will plant hemp to pull lead and heavy metals out of the soil so they can plant their next crop. Now, you can buy really cheap hemp or CBD products that have been used for that purpose, but I don't know about you, but I don't really want hemp that's been used to take lead out of the soil. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you want to make sure that your CBD was grown in a beautiful way for the intention of your product, which means checking those test results. So to recap, one, we're gonna check for the potency, how many milligrams are actually in this product. Two, we're gonna test for pesticides to make sure there's nothing bad in there. And then three, we're gonna test for heavy metals and things like mold and microbes. Especially after everything with COVID, we just wanna be extra careful about what we're putting in and on our body. So the number one thing I would say about CBD is making sure that it's getting tested. Now, the rest of it is just common sense. Perhaps you shouldn't buy a $60 product at the gas station. Really make sure that you're buying it from a retailer that can explain to you why and who's behind the products that you're buying. So those are my tips to help you buy CBD. It's one, make sure that they're tested. Two, does this feel like a company I want to support? And three, is my retailer doing education or letting me know why I'm buying those products?